Leo and I are just friends. Can you stop being so gross? How can a grown man be this petty and insecure? Do you even realize how exhausting this is for me? Chloe Davis slammed the apartment door behind her. Leo Miller stood there with a bitter smile. He'd lost count of how many times they'd fought about her so-called best friend. As she stormed away, he felt something unexpected-calm. For 3 years, Leo had carried their relationship, always giving in, always making himself smaller. And for 3 years, Chloe had kept putting Ryan, her best friend, before him. Time and time again, he was left behind. It's time to make a choice, he thought. He got up, cleaned the broken pieces of their fight off the floor, and ordered food from DoorDash, loaded chili dog from that greasy downtown diner. Chloe always complained it stunk up the apartment, so he'd never eaten it at home. He couldn't believe how foolish he'd been. Why hadn't he ever thought to love himself more? He remembered something he'd once read online. If a relationship feels like you're suffocating, it's time to leave. He ate, finished his shift, and decided not to dwell on her anymore. The fights had always been about Ryan. Leo had begged her to set boundaries, to create even a little distance from Ryan Carter. But every time she exploded, she'd insist it was platonic, call him controlling, and freeze him out for days. Thinking back, Leo wanted to shake himself. They were like two parallel lines, always close, but never touching. Maybe we were never meant to be. When he arrived at work, he threw himself into his unfinished projects. Not long after, the general manager, Victoria Sterling, clapped her hands for attention. Thanks to Leo Miller, our team lead, we've secured the Henderson account. The company has decided to promote him to manager of the sales center. Everyone, let's congratulate our new manager. His co-workers applauded as Leo stood and gave a small nod. Thank you, everyone. This was a team effort. And thank you, Miss Sterling, for trusting me. I'll keep working hard. You're too modest, Leo, someone teased. Since you're manager now, you're buying the first round, right? You know it, he grinned. I'd be honored if you all came out to celebrate. Victoria smiled warmly. The company has high hopes for you, Leo. Keep it up, Hugh. Have a bright future. Thank you, Miss Sterling, he said sincerely. This is all because of your talent, she replied. And about that party this afternoon, will I be invited? If you came, Miss Sterling, I'd be the one honored. Later that night, after celebrating at a gastropub, Victoria offered Leo a ride home. Chloe wasn't there when he walked in. In the past, that would have sent him spiraling, calling her over and over, heart racing. But now, he felt nothing. No anxiety, no anger, just quiet. He went to bed. The next morning, Chloe was sitting in the living room. A single bagel sat on the table. Hey, about last night. Ryan got really drunk, so I had to take care of him. Okay, Leo said flatly, slipping on his shoes. I brought you a bagel. Eat it while it's fresh. No thanks. You have it. You'll get an ulcer if you keep skipping breakfast. Just have a little. I'll grab a coffee on the way. He opened the door without looking at her. Double quotes, Leo. I can give you. The door clicked shut. Chloe sat frozen. She scrolled through their iMessage history. Since the fight, Leo hadn't texted her once. Not a single call. Usually all she had to do was say a few sweet words and he'd melt. But not this time. Looking back at their old chats, she saw how one-sided it was. His messages were paragraphs. Hers were dismissive. Okay, sure. Got it? Was I taking him for granted? She wondered. But almost immediately, she pushed the thought aside. No, Leo was too controlling. Too suffocating. If he doesn't apologize first, I'm not forgiving him. But the days passed. Leo said nothing. He barely spoke at home. When he was there, he was glued to his laptop. The words between them could be counted on one hand. Why do I feel like he's different? Chloe muttered. A few nights later, she went to karaoke with coworkers. Around midnight, people started leaving. Boyfriends showed up, or called to say goodnight. Soon, only she was left. Chloe, my boyfriend's here. I'm heading out. See you, a colleague waved. Yeah, bye, she mumbled. She pulled out her phone. The last text from Leo was 3 days ago. She refreshed. Nothing, sighed. Maybe I should apologize. Be the bigger person. She hovered over his contact, thumb trembling, then hit call. It rang and rang. No answer. She redialed. Still nothing. Is he asleep? Unease filled her chest. She ordered an Uber and rushed home. Leo, I'm home, she called, stepping in. Silence. He must be asleep. She peeked into the bedroom. Empty. Panic rose. She tried calling again, straight to voicemail. She paced, heart racing. For the first time she realized this is how he must have felt. All those nights waiting for me. On her 10th call, she heard the lock turn. Relieved, she rushed forward. Where were you? Why didn't you answer? Leo's face was blank. Work thing. Had a few drinks? The phone was on silent. You never drink. Felt good. I'm tired. Going to bed. He walked past her, cold, detached. Chloe froze. No warmth? No concern? Not even a hello? It wasn't him. Her chest ached as she watched him vanish into the bedroom. Later, she crawled into bed. She wrapped her arms around him. In his sleep, he shifted away, as if instinctively creating distance. Tears stung her eyes. The next morning, she woke up to an empty bed. Heart pounding, she ran out just in time to see him opening the door to leave. The door clicked shut, and a hollow feeling washed over her. The kitchen counter, once always set with a hot breakfast waiting for her, was empty. Did he forget to make me something? She wondered. She walked into the kitchen. The stovetop was cold, covered in a thin layer of dust. It hadn't been used in days. Why did he stop making me breakfast? Why did he leave without even saying goodbye? A strange anger bubbled up inside her. Is he still mad about the other night? Just then, her phone rang. It was Ryan. Chloe, can you come help me? My mom's in the hospital. Okay, I'm on my way. But she paused, remembering Leo's coldness over the past few days. Worried he might misunderstand, she quickly typed out a message. Leo, Ryan's mom was just admitted to the hospital. I'm going to help him out. A few minutes later, his reply came. Okay, Chloe. Stared at the single word. No questions, no complaints. In the past, he'd have at least said, why is it always Ryan? But now, he felt distant, changed. She typed again. You didn't make breakfast this morning, and you left without saying goodbye. Are you still mad at me? Leo, in the middle of drafting a proposal, saw her text and frowned. She was never this chatty over text. He replied with one word: busy. When Chloe saw it, a wave of sadness and self-pity hit her. Shaking it off, she got dressed and rushed to the hospital. Chloe, thank you so much, Ryan said, relief flooding his face. I don't know what I would have done without you. Of course. That's what friends are for. Still, a thought gnawed her. Is Leo going to be okay with this? He's always been weird about me and Ryan. She forced a smile. He won't mind, she told herself, though she wasn't sure. From the hospital bed, Ryan's mom whispered weakly, Ryan, honey, I've watched you two grow up. Girls like Chloe are rare these days. Are you two dating? Auntie, we're not, Ryan said quickly. Chloe, let's go get my mom's prescription, Keisha replied as he pulled her away. After picking up the medicine, Chloe sat on a bench in the hallway, restless. She picked up her phone several times, then set it down again. She opened iMessage, closed it, opened it again. Leo still hadn't texted her, not one word. He used to message her constantly, sharing little details from his day. Finally, she broke. Hey, what you up to? She typed. Work, came his curt reply. She pushed on. I know this really great restaurant. Want to go together after work? Can't client dinner we're at. I can pick you up. Don't worry about it. His replies were cold, dismissive. Leo, are you mad at me? His response. A single character. Taking a deep breath, Chloe finally admitted what she'd been avoiding. I know I haven't been considering your feelings lately. I'm sorry. Can we please stop fighting? His reply came a minute later. Whatever makes you happy? The conversation ended. Chloe leaned back against the chair, deflated. An empty ache in her chest. scrolling through Instagram. She stumbled on a story from one of Leo's colleagues, someone she'd added back when Leo used his phone to send her a file. The photo showed Leo sitting beside a beautiful woman. They leaned close, talking, both smiling warmly. They looked like a couple. The caption read, "Don't they make the perfect pair?" Chloe's mind went blank. She saw the location tag for the restaurant and jumped to her feet. "Chloe, if you leave, what about me?" Ryan protested, grabbing her arm. "Ryan, something important came up. I have to go. Is it Leo?" "Is he mad you're helping me again?" "He's so controlling. No, it's not that. I really have to go." Ignoring him, she rushed out. Behind her, Ryan clenched his fists. On the way, Chloe's thoughts spiraled. Who is that woman? Why is she so close to Leo? What are they to each other? When she arrived, she saw them through the restaurant window, Leo, and a woman in a sharp business suit, presenting something to clients. Chloe let out a breath. Oh, it's just work. The tightness in her chest eased, but as she watched them whisper and smile together, the heaviness returned. The meeting ended with handshakes. The woman turned to Leo. "Do you need a ride home?" Before Leo could answer, Chloe called out, "Leo." Victoria Sterling smiled, gave him a little wave, and walked away. "What are you doing here?" Leo asked. "I was in the area and saw you in a meeting. Thought I'd wait. Oh, heading back to the office?" "Yeah, still some work left. I'll give you a ride. If it's too much trouble, I can just... It's no trouble at all." Chloe pulled open the passenger door, then froze. Leo was already sliding into the back seat. Her fingers tightened on the handle. You're not going to sit up front?" "Let's go. I'm going to be late." She remembered the huge fight they'd once had because Ryan sat in the passenger seat. She'd told Leo he was childish. "It's just a seat. Can you grow up?" This is exhausting. After that, Leo had never sat in the front again. Chloe shut the door and drove. She kept glancing at him in the rearview mirror, but his eyes stayed closed at his office building. Leo got out and walked straight inside. "Leo," she called. He turned. "Something else. I'll pick you up after work. We can go to dinner. I'll make a reservation." "You don't have to. I'll carpool with a coworker." "No, let me. Please." Leo nodded. But after work, when Leo waited at the restaurant, Chloe never came. He sat alone for 2 hours before his phone rang. "Hello, Miss Sterling. I have something to discuss with you. Can you meet me?" "Of course. Great. Sending you my location." Before leaving, Leo texted Chloe. "You're not coming." He waited. No reply. He left the restaurant. "Leo, over here," Victoria called, waving from a table at another bistro. "What did you want to discuss, Miss Sterling?" "Let's eat first." After they ordered, she leaned forward. "The company wants me to oversee operations at the new branch office, but I need a reliable second in command. I was hoping you'd come with me." "Why me?" "Because your talent is wasted here. At the new office, I plan on promoting you to vice president." "Vice president? What? You're not interested?" "I am." A smile finally spread across his face. "That's great, but what about your girlfriend?" "That's my business, not hers. Besides, I'm planning to break up with her anyway." "Is that so?" "Well, it's your private life, not mine, but I hope you handle it well." "I will, Miss Sterling." "When do we leave?" "Get your things ready. We head out on the 10th of next month." "Okay, 25 days from now?" "Plenty of time." He wanted to give his current relationship a proper, clean ending. On her way to pick up Leo, Chloe got a call from Ryan. He said his mother was on her deathbed and her last wish was to see him with a loving girlfriend. He begged Chloe to pretend, just for her sake. After a moment of agonizing hesitation, Chloe, for reasons she couldn't explain, agreed. In the hospital room, Ryan's mother took both their hands and pressed them together. Chloe's first instinct was to pull away, but Ryan held on tight. After his mother was stabilized and moved into recovery, Chloe suddenly remembered her date with Leo. She slapped her forehead, guilt crashing over her. She grabbed her phone, and opened their chat. The only thing waiting was Leo's message from 4 hours ago. "You're not coming?" Panic set in. Ignoring Ryan's protests, she sprinted out of the hospital and drove toward the restaurant, calling Leo again and again. "Come on, pick up. Let me explain." But when she arrived, Leo was already gone. A hollow sense of loss hit her, dread gnawing at her. "Ma'am, are you still having the dinner you ordered?" the waiter asked. She nodded. "Can you pack it to go, please?" "Thank you." She returned to their apartment with the food and opened the door. "Lo, I'm so sorry. Something came up last minute. I brought the food back. We can eat at home." Silence. "Leo?" she called again. She set the food on the table and checked her phone. No reply to her frantic texts. She sat down quietly, staring at the untouched dinner. She thought about the last few weeks. Ever since that fight, things had changed. Leo no longer called when she was late. He didn't make breakfast. He stopped sending little texts to share his day. Their conversations had dwindled to almost nothing. She used to find his clinginess annoying, but now, with the silence, she felt like something precious was slipping away. Her heart felt hollow. The clock ticked. She kept looking out the window, staring at the door, hoping he'd walk in. Anxiety clawed at her chest. "Is this how you used to feel? Just like I do right now?" Midnight came. Still no Leo. She finally called in this time. He answered. "Hello?" His side was loud, like a party. "Leo, where are you? Why aren't you home?" "Out with coworkers." "Don't wait up. When will you be done?" "I can come pick you up. I could finally meet your colleagues. Don't worry about it. Just go to sleep." "I gotta go." Click. Chloe lowered the phone. Have we really gotten to this point? He used to beg her to meet his colleagues, and she would always brush it off. Now, the pain twisted in her chest. Have I been blind to his feelings this whole time? She thought about how she dropped everything when Ryan called, but always made excuses when Leo asked for her. The guilt stung. I haven't been a good girlfriend, have I? She opened Instagram and checked a colleague's story, the location tagged at a barbecue joint. Without thinking, she grabbed her keys and drove over. From across the street, she spotted Leo inside, glass raised, toasting with his coworkers. Next to him sat his beautiful manager. Every so often, the woman's eyes lingered on Leo with unmistakable affection. Jealousy and dread surged through Chloe. His colleagues were there with their partners, while Leo sat alone among them. The sight broke her. A tear slipped down her cheek. I'm so sorry, Leo. I promise. From now on, I'll always be by your side. Then the manager stood, gently taking the drink from Leo's hand. He's had enough. Don't pour him any more shots. Oh, look at Miss Sterling being protective, one colleague teased. Ow. And the table erupted in laughter. Chloe twisted the hem of her shirt, resisting the urge to barge in. Every instinct screamed that this woman was a threat. By 2 a.m., her chest felt crushed under the weight of watching them together. So this is what heartbreak feels like: jealousy, panic, suspicion. Finally, people began to leave. Leo was drunk, stumbling as his boss and another colleague supported him. Chloe rushed over. I've got him. I'm his girlfriend, she said firmly, staking her claim. Oh, so you're the girlfriend? One coworker remarked. First time we've actually met you. Words cut deep. 3 years with Leo. And none of his coworkers had ever seen her before. As Leo stumbled, he fell against Victoria's manager. She caught him tenderly, patting his back. Chloe's stomach dropped at the sight. She quickly pulled Leo back. I'm so sorry. He's just drunk. Please don't take it personally, Miss Sterling. The warning in her tone was clear. Don't get any ideas, Ms. Davis. It's admirable that you came out so late to pick up your boyfriend, Victoria said with a sharp smile. Chris, you see that? That's what a dedicated girlfriend looks like. You're right, Miss Sterling. Chris sighed dramatically. Unlike my girlfriend, all she cares about is hanging out with her guy friend. Sometimes I wonder if she's even mine. Chloe's face burned. Victoria's gaze flicked toward her, words dripping with poison. Well, Chris, you'd better be careful. If your girlfriend doesn't prioritize you, you might not even notice when she runs off with someone else. Tell me about it, but whatever. We're breaking up anyway. I was already planning to have that conversation. Good for you, knowing your worth, Victoria said, her voice louder now, as if making sure someone else could hear. There are plenty of great women out there. No need to waste your time on someone who doesn't deserve you, Leo mumbled through his drunken stupor. You're right, Miss Sterling. Make sense? His words cut into Chloe's heart like a knife. She steadied him. Leo, you're drunk. Let's go home. After thanking the others, she helped him to the car. She opened the passenger door, but Leo refused to get in. I don't want to sit in the front, no. Chloe's eyes welled up. Left with no choice, she guided him into the back seat. When she sat behind the wheel, her eyes froze on the empty passenger seat. Stuck to the dashboard was a small, cutesy Decalco pilot. Ryan had slapped it there once as a joke. Back then, she hadn't thought much of it. But now, it felt like a glaring accusation. She suddenly understood why Leo refused to sit there. Tears streamed down her cheeks. She ripped the decal off, crumpled it, and hurled it out the window. Then she collapsed against the steering wheel. Despair washing over her. After a long moment, she lifted her head, wiped her eyes, and whispered, I'm sorry, Leo. I was wrong. I was so wrong for not caring about your feelings. Is this how you felt all those nights, tossing and turning while you waited for me? Did your heart ache like this? I promise. It will never happen again. She started the car. Back at the apartment, she got him into bed and wiped his face with a warm cloth. Then she laid down behind him, holding him close. Promise me you won't leave me. I'll change. I swear I'll change. In that moment, she finally understood how important Leo was. She couldn't lose him. The next morning, Chloe woke early and cooked. By the time Leo got up, breakfast was ready. Go wash up. Breakfast is on the table, she said, smiling brightly. Leo stared at her, scrutinizing. What's gotten into her? He wondered. In the past, she wouldn't even buy breakfast, let alone cook it. His suspicion made her heart ache. When he didn't move, she added softly, Leo, I know I was wrong before. I'm sorry. I promise I'll change from now on. Actually, there's something I need to talk to you about, Leo said, sitting at the table. Chloe, we need to. Let's get married, Chloe blurted out, cutting him off, almost as if she knew what he was about to say. What? I said, let's get married. I've realized you're the most important person in my life. I can't imagine a future without you. I was confused before, but now I see clearly. You're the one I want to spend my life with. So, we should. Her phone rang suddenly. Hello, Chris. What's up? Leo, you need to get to the office right now. Emergency. I have to go, Leo said. Urgent work issue. We'll talk when I get back. I'll drive you. It'll be impossible to get an Uber right now. Okay? With no time to argue, Leo followed. Chloe rushed to the car, holding the passenger door open. Leo stood there a moment. We're going to be late, Chloe urged. Instead, he opened the back door and got in. A wave of powerlessness crushed her. She closed the passenger side, climbed in, and sped toward his office. On the way, she kept glancing at him in the rearview mirror. He was just typing on his phone. From now on, she said quietly but firmly, no one else sits in my passenger seat. No reaction. His focus stayed on the screen. When he finally put his phone away, he asked, What did you say just now? I didn't hear you, Leo. I know I was wrong. Please, just give me one more chance. Give us one more chance, please. Her voice shook with fear. She dreaded hearing the word breakup. Leo stayed silent, lips pressed thin, battling himself. He didn't speak again for the rest of the ride. For Chloe, the silence was torture. When they arrived, Leo jumped out and hurried toward the entrance. Leo, she called out, from now on, my passenger seat is only for you. He turned back, gave her a small, unreadable smile, then disappeared inside. After that day, Chloe changed completely. She went straight home after work, cooked dinner, and waited for Leo. If he had client dinners, she picked him up. She drove him to work in the morning. She truly tried, pouring herself into being the girlfriend he deserved. Leo felt torn. After struggling, He decided to give her one last chance for the sake of their 3 years together. He didn't want regrets. His plan was simple. He'd tell her he was moving to another city for work. If she chose to go with him, he'd let the past go. If not, he could leave without looking back. He was leaving tomorrow. And today was his birthday. He called Chloe. "I have something important to discuss. You absolutely can't miss it." Seeing how much she had changed lately, he felt a spark of hope. Chloe, excited for his birthday, had already picked out the perfect gift at the mall. She ordered a custom cake and clutched the box with an engraved ring inside. Tonight, she planned to propose. "You're all set to leave tomorrow. Anything left to do?" Victoria asked over the phone. "Just one last thing, Miss Sterling. But don't worry, no matter how it turns out, it won't affect my travel plans." "Good to hear." Leo packed his suitcase, letting Chloe's choice decide his future. With everything ready, he sat at the table, weighed down by hope and anxiety. This would be his last birthday here at 6. He went into the kitchen and cooked his last meal in the apartment, pouring his heart into every dish. When the table was set, he glanced at the clock. Chloe should have been off work by now. Maybe she's stuck in traffic, he thought, waiting. The minutes slipped by at a clock, then 9, then 10. He pulled out his phone and called her. "We're sorry. The person you have called is on another line." The call was rejected. He tried again. "We're sorry. The number you have dialed has been turned off." He tried a few more times. Same result. Leo's heart sank. The last flicker of hope went out. The clock struck midnight. He stared at the quiet front door as the last knot of tension in his chest finally gave way. A bitter laugh escaped his lips. Closing his eyes, he clasped his hands together and made a wish. "Happy birthday," he whispered softly to himself. "And happy single life." He took a bite from every dish on the table before setting his chopsticks down. Then he opened his laptop, finalized his work files, saved the handover documents, and glanced at the clock. It was 6 o'clock in the morning. Without hesitation, he stood up, walked into the bedroom, and picked up his packed suitcase. On the desk, he placed the stack of photos they had taken together, along with a note. At the front door, he stopped and looked back one last time at the apartment they had shared for 3 years. It had held sweetness, arguments, and tears. Then, without another glance, he walked out. Goodbye, Chloe. Goodbye to the last 3 years. Chloe woke with a start on a hard hospital bench. What time is it? She fumbled for her phone. Why was it off? A wave of panic crashed over her. She grabbed the arm of a passing nurse. What time is it? It's 5:40 a.m., the nurse replied. What's the date? October 10th. The 10th. Her hands trembled as she turned her phone back on. A flood of missed call notifications appeared dull from Leo. Her chest tightened. I missed his birthday. How could I have missed his birthday? He said he had something important to tell me. Dread wrapped around her like ice. She immediately dialed his number. The number you have dialed is unavailable or out of the service area. Her stomach dropped. She tried again. Same robotic voice. Again and again, but the cold, mechanical tone was all she heard. She collapsed onto the bench, eyes empty. Once, she had been sure Leo would never leave her. But ever since he started to change, that certainty had vanished. You're awake. Why don't you sleep a little longer? Ryan's voice cut through her panic as he walked toward her. She looked up, her eyes blazing with anger. Did you turn off my phone? I just saw how tired you were, Ryan said carefully. I didn't want you to be disturbed. Do you have any idea how important last night was to me? Why did you turn off my phone? Chloe shouted, grabbing his collar. Chloe, I was only trying to help. Did Leo start another fight with you? He just can't stand you helping me. Shut up. Leo is my boyfriend. He's important to me. She shoved him back and stood. Chloe, if you leave, what about me? I'm going home now. Chloe, you can't, I said. I'm going home. Didn't you hear me? Chloe had lost all patience. She pushed Ryan aside and stumbled toward the parking garage. She got in her car and tore out of the hospital lot. Behind her, Ryan slammed his fist against the wall. Chloe sped through the streets, whispering desperate prayers. As she pulled into their apartment complex, a black SUV was pulling out. Their cars passed each other for only a second. She rushed upstairs with the cake box in her hands, not even closing her car door. Her hands shook too much to fit the key in the lock. Taking a deep breath, she finally managed to open the door. Leo. Silence. Her chest tightened. Leo, still no answer. Her pulse raced. She flipped on the light. The dining table was set with a full meal, every dish carefully prepared. Leo's bowl had traces of food, his chopsticks neatly placed beside it. Across from him, a spotless bowl and chopsticks sat untouched, mocking her absence. Chloe clutched her chest as tears spilled down her face. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. She set the cake down and ran to the bedroom. All of Leo's things were gone. On the desk lay the stack of photos and a note. It read, "We're done. Let's go our separate ways." Her mind went blank, like lightning had struck her. The note slipped from her fingers. She grabbed her phone, redialing his number in a frenzy. No. He wouldn't just leave me like this. The call connected only to end with the same robotic voice. She tried again. Same result. The truth hit her like a knife. He blocked me. She opened iMessage, typed a message, hit send. A red exclamation mark appeared. Her phone slipped from her hand and clattered to the floor. She sank with it, sobbing, her tears soaking the wood. Why won't you let me explain? Why did you leave? Her wails echoed through the empty apartment. A thought struck her. She shot up, grabbed her keys, and raced to Leo's office. Stopping an employee at the entrance, she asked breathlessly, "Can you please get Leo Miller for me? Tell him his girlfriend is here. Manager Miller already left. He's been transferred to the branch office." The employee gave her a puzzled look. "You're his girlfriend. How could you not know?" "What?" Chloe's eyes widened. "When did this happen?" "His flight to Austin was this morning." Her knees nearly gave way. She demanded the flight details, then sped toward the airport. "I can still make it. I have to make it." But just as she pulled into the parking garage, a passenger jet roared overhead, lifting into the sky. Her hand froze on the car door handle. She clenched her fists tight. He's really gone. Her body crumpled back into the seat. Sobs tore from her chest as she pounded the steering wheel. Why did I help Ryan? Why didn't I just go home? Why did I miss his birthday? Yesterday, after work, she had happily picked up Leo's gift and the cake. She was humming on the drive home, excited for their evening together. Then Ryan had called, his voice choked with sobs. "Chloe, my mom, she's not going to make it." Her grip had tightened on the phone. Friendship on one side, love on the other. An impossible choice. If she didn't go and something happened to his mom, would Ryan hate her forever? Would she carry the guilt all her life? But if she went, she'd miss Leo's birthday. He'd said it was important. She checked the time. 6:40 p.m. I should have enough time. I could still make it back to celebrate with him. With that thought, she slammed the brakes, hesitated, then made a U-turn toward the hospital. She didn't know it then, but that single turn would cost her the most important person in her life, a loss that would haunt her for years at the hospital. She had helped Ryan push his mother to dialysis, ran paperwork between departments, and rushed through chaotic errands. When things finally calmed down, she checked the time. 9 p.m. okay? Still okay? She said goodbye to Ryan. But he pressed a bottle of water into her hand and urged her to sit and rest for a minute before leaving. She didn't think much of it. She took the water and drank it down, her thirst overwhelming. Soon after, her eyelids grew heavy, and she drifted off to sleep on the bench in the hospital waiting room. Looking back now, regret gnawed at her. She sat alone on the sofa in their empty apartment, staring blankly at the used dishes still on the table. Slowly, she got up, sat in her own empty seat, and ate every last bite of the cold food. Then she pulled out the cake, lit the candles, and clasped her hands together. "Happy birthday, Leo. I'm so sorry." She began shoving cake into her mouth, tears mixing with the frosting, though she couldn't taste a thing. She took out the custom ring she had bought, clutching it tightly in her hand, before finally collapsing onto the table. Sobbing, her cries filling the silent room. She stayed on the sofa all night, trying to understand why he had left. Deep down, she knew the reason, but she just couldn't face it. The next day, she went to a store, bought a burner phone, and dialed Leo's number. "Hello?" Tears of relief ran down her face. "Leo, it's me. What do you want?" His voice was cold. "Why'd you leave? Why won't you give me a chance to explain?" "There's no point." "What do you mean there's no point?" "I know I missed your birthday and it's my fault. But Ryan's mom was dying. He needed me. I was coming back to celebrate with you, but I fell asleep at the hospital. Ryan turned off my phone." Chloe broke down, sobbing so hard she could barely form words. There was silence on the other end. "Hello, Leo. Are you there?" Her voice trembled. "It doesn't matter anymore, Chloe. We're really over. Why?" "There is no why. I'm just tired. I'm worn out. I don't have any love left to give. The moment I walked away, our story was over. Don't call me again." Then he hung up. "No, Leo." Beep, 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 dot. She tried calling back, but his phone was off. She tried again with her own phone, but it was clear he had set it to reject unknown numbers. Chloe returned to the empty apartment, threw herself on the bed, and cried into the pillow. She had never felt so powerless, so helpless, so full of regret and pain. She started packing, planning to go to Austin. But before she could leave, Ryan called his mother had passed away. She attended the funeral, and soon after was buried in a crisis at work. By the time she was free, a week had slipped by. She requested leave and booked a flight to Austin immediately. She couldn't give up, she had to get him back. After landing, she checked into a hotel and began searching for Leo's new company. A day later, she found it, only to be told he was working from home for a few days. Through careful inquiries, she managed to get his address and rushed over. Knock, knock, knock. She knocked, her heart pounding. The door opened. "Who is it?" Leo's eyes widened when he saw her. "What are you doing here?" Chloe looked frail, exhausted, a shadow of her former self. "Leo, why did you leave without a word?" "Come in," he said quietly, stepping aside. "Why did you leave?" she asked again once inside. "There's no reason. I just don't love you anymore." "You don't love me? Is it because of Ryan?" "I swear nothing ever happened between us. It doesn't matter." "Leo, if you don't like me being close to him, I promise I'll never see him again." Her hand shook as she pulled out her phone and deleted Ryan's contact information. "Look, Leo, he's gone." "Everything's gone," Leo frowned. "So you understood all along? You knew exactly what to do." I'm sorry. I was wrong before. I didn't think about your feelings. I didn't respect your boundaries. You did it anyway, didn't you?" "No, Leo, it's not like that. Listen to me. I used to think you were too controlling, that I needed space. But I see it now. I don't need space. I need you. I gave you space, didn't I?" "Isn't this exactly what you wanted?" "No, that's not it." Chloe shook her head, tears streaming down her cheeks. She struggled to hold herself together. "Leo, I know I hurt you. I've had time to think, and I realize now I should have given you the security you needed. I didn't consider your feelings, and that was my fault." "So you did understand," Leo said flatly. "I'll change. I'll change everything. Just give me one more chance, please. Your birthday never meant for that to happen. Look, this was your present." She pulled out a neatly wrapped box. Inside was a Taiwan that would have looked perfect on him. And this. She held out a small velvet box with 2 custom rings. "I was going to propose to you on your birthday. I ruined everything. But please, give me another chance." "It's too late, Chloe. It's too late for any of this." Her body froze, her voice breaking into a whisper. "Why? Because you're out of chances? No. As long as you're willing, there's still a chance."
Oh.
Sighed deeply. "That night was your last chance. I was ready to walk away, but when I saw the changes you made, I decided to give you one more shot. If you had been willing to leave with me that night, I would have forgiven everything. I would have given us our 3 years another chance. But you stood me up, Chloe. You're out of chances." Chloe stumbled backward, clutching her chest. The ring box slipped from her hands, the rings scattering across the floor. "What did you say?" "You packed the photos because you wanted to take me with you." "Leo, I'm willing. I'll quit my job right now. I'll go anywhere with you." She frantically pulled out her phone. "It's too late, Chloe. That night, when you didn't show up, the last bit of love I had for you died. You should go. Let's end this with some dignity." "No, it can't end like this. This isn't how it's supposed to end." She collapsed to the floor, sobbing. Leo watched her, unmoved. "Chloe, a miss is a miss. Maybe this is just fate. I hope we both find happiness. But how can I be happy without you? Is there really no chance at all?" Leo shook his head. Her tears finally ran dry. She picked up the rings from the floor, slipped the woman's ring onto her finger, then sank to one knee, holding out the man's ring. "Leo Miller, will you marry me? Will you let me be your wife?" Leo just stood there, expressionless. "No," Chloe swayed, then lowered her hands, letting them fall weakly to her sides. "So, we really have no chance at all." A bitter laugh escaped her lips. "I understand. It was my fault. I pushed you away. I deserve this." She stood shakily, turned and walked to the door. She turned and looked at him one last time, her eyes filled with regret and longing. "I'm not giving up," she whispered to herself. Closing her eyes, she turned away and walked out. Leo stood there, watching her go. "It's really over, Chloe," he muttered under his breath before shutting the door and returning to his computer. Chloe wandered aimlessly through the unfamiliar streets, as though she had lost all sense of direction. Suddenly her phone rang. Was her company. An urgent project needed her back immediately. She paused, glancing back at Leo's apartment building. "Leo, I won't give up this easily. You were the one who always gave without asking for anything in return. Now it's my turn. Just wait for me." At that very moment, Leo's phone rang. "Hello, Miss Sterling. What's up, Mr. Miller? Would you do me the honor of having dinner with me? An invitation from you, Miss Sterling? I'd be delighted." Leo knew Victoria was interested in him, but after such a painful breakup, he wasn't ready to fall into another relationship. It wouldn't be fair to her. Besides, he had learned since arriving at the branch office that she was the daughter of the company's founder. They came from two very different worlds. Still, as time passed, Victoria's feelings became more and more obvious. Leo tried to gently sidestep her advances, but everything changed when he fell sick and had to be hospitalized. Victoria stayed by his side day and night, taking care of him tirelessly. She handled his paperwork, picked up his prescriptions, and brought him food and water. For an entire week, she barely left his side. Moved by her dedication, Leo finally accepted her. He felt he had no reason to refuse a woman of her status, who cared for him with such humility and detail. They began dating, and the more time he spent with her, the more he discovered that, despite her wealthy background, Victoria had none of the arrogance he had expected. She was thoughtful, attentive, and gave him a sense of trust and security he had never known. Gradually, his heart began to stir, and their relationship deepened. When Chloe found out about them, it felt like lightning had struck her. She cried every day, drowning her regret in alcohol, desperate to escape the pain of losing him. Then the truth came out. Ryan had been manipulating her all along. He had other family members who could have helped, but he had chosen her just to drive a wedge between her and Leo. And he had succeeded. When Chloe learned the truth, she slapped him hard across the face, screamed at him, and cut all ties. Later, she went home, slapped herself, and sobbed. "Chloe, you're such an idiot." Even the night of Leo's birthday had been a setup. Ryan knew how important that evening was to her. He had slipped a sleeping pill into her drink, making her miss her chance and pushing Leo away for good. So, when Chloe heard her company was opening a new branch in Austin, she begged her boss relentlessly until she finally secured a transfer. She couldn't give up, not yet. As long as Leo wasn't married, she still had a chance. By some twist of fate, the new office was just a few blocks from Leo's. Chloe was overjoyed, seeing it as a sign from heaven. One afternoon, While searching for an apartment near Leo's office, she spotted Victoria arguing with a man. Quietly, she pulled out her phone and began recording. "Victoria Sterling," the man sneered. "What do you think Leo will do when he finds out you're two-timing him? Do you think he'll break up with you?" Chloe smirked faintly, watching. "Please stop bothering me," Victoria said firmly. "You know, I have a boyfriend." "Tori, come on. We've known each other since we were kids. It doesn't have to be like this. If we're friends, then answer me this. What was the meaning of all that ambiguous talk you made in front of my boyfriend the other day? Were you trying to make him misunderstand? I didn't mean anything by it. We used to hang out all the time. Yes, when we were children. But as adults, we've never been physical. Never had a romantic relationship. Have we? I'm warning you, Julie and I won't let my boyfriend be hurt because of you. There's a misunderstanding, Tori. I wasn't trying to cause trouble. There are no misunderstandings here. I know exactly what you're thinking. As of today, our childhood friendship is over. Don't show your face in front of me again. But my grandfather is sick, Julian pleaded. His dying wish is for you to be his granddaughter-in-law. Can't you pretend to be my girlfriend just to grant his last wish? I'm sorry, but I can't. I won't risk my boyfriend misunderstanding. If you need me to connect your grandfather with medical specialists, I'll do that in a heartbeat. But this Sai won't. You really won't do this for me? I have no obligation to... Now, Julian, leave. Frustrated, he finally turned away. And another thing, Victoria added coldly. Don't ever say anything ambiguous in front of my boyfriend again. If you make him misunderstand, don't blame me for forgetting our childhood friendship. I get it, Julian muttered bitterly before leaving. Victoria immediately called the front desk. From now on, Julian Yang is not to be allowed into the building. Her voice was sharp, decisive, leaving no room for argument. Chloe stopped recording and let out a bitter laugh. Victoria's actions had been a harsh lesson. It was my indecisiveness that gave Ryan false hope and cost me the person I loved most. I had so many chances to fix things, but I did nothing. Instead, I pushed him further away. If only I had been like Victoria, cutting Ryan off from the start, but it's too late now. Love isn't just one person's effort. It takes two. I realized that too late. From then on, Chloe used every excuse to be near Leo. When he learned her company had opened in Austin, he was surprised. She sent him flowers, lunch, anything, to try and mend their broken bond. But Leo's resolve never wavered. All Chloe could do was watch from afar. She saw them go out to dinner, watch movies, shop together, walk hand in hand at the park. They did everything a couple would. One rainy day, she saw them sharing an umbrella. Leo tilted it toward Victoria, and she pushed it back toward him, until both were soaked through. Neither was angry. Instead, they looked at each other, laughed, and then held each other tightly. Under the pouring rain, they kissed. Chloe stood across the street, her umbrella shielding her from the storm as she watched them. In that moment, she knew she had truly lost. There were no more chances. Thunder cracked overhead, rain poured down in sheets, but nothing could separate the two lovers, wrapped up in their own world. Less than a year later, they were engaged. 6 months after that, they had a grand wedding. Chloe could only watch from a distance, silent tears streaming down her face. Leo, it's been 2 years watching you live so happily. Shouldn't I be able to let go by now? Then why does my heart still ache so much? Is this twisting, stabbing pain, regret, resentment, or punishment from fate? After the wedding, Chloe left Austin. As the plane lifted into the sky, she finally felt a sense of release. Leo, I wish you a lifetime of happiness. If there's a next life, I swear I will cherish you. As the plane climbed higher, Chloe closed her eyes and thought back on her years with Leo. Maybe this will be my obsession, forever something I'll carry with me until the day I die. Then came the announcement, warning, warning. The aircraft is experiencing engine failure. Please fasten your seatbelts, put on your oxygen masks, and remain calm. Please follow the instructions of the crew. The voice repeated over the speakers. Some passengers cried. Others frantically recorded farewell messages on their phones. The cabin was filled with panic and despair, but Chloe remained strangely calm. Due to irreparable engine failure, the aircraft will be making an emergency landing. All passengers, please prepare for impact. The plane began to plummet. Chaos erupted. Chloe closed her eyes. If there's a next life, Leo, I promise I will cherish our love. I will never let go of your hand. The news came hours later. Flight 734 from Austin to Chicago had crashed. There were no survivors. Watching the report, Leo felt a sharp, tearing pain in his chest, as if something precious had been ripped away. Then Chloe's eyes shot open. She sat up, heart pounding. Didn't I die? Where am I? She looked around at the familiar scene. Noise, music, laughter. It was Ryan's birthday party. She grabbed her phone, checked the date, and froze. I've been reborn. I'm back 2 years in the past. It's the day of Ryan's birthday, the day everything started to fall apart between me and Leo. She checked the time. Thank God there was still time. In about 5 minutes, Leo would arrive to pick her up, only to see her and Ryan in that stupid party game. Passing a slip of paper from mouth to mouth. That fight in the car afterward had been the first crack in their relationship. Not this time. This time, I'll fix it. Just then, someone suggested they play the very same game. Chloe knew Ryan had orchestrated it on purpose, hoping Leo would see through the glass door. But this time, his plan was going to fail. As everyone urged her to join in, she raised her voice deliberately. I can't play this kind of game. I have a boyfriend, and I don't want him to misunderstand. Ryan scoffed. You're just afraid of what Leo will think. He's so petty and controlling. Are you really going to choose your boyfriend over your friends? Her eyes flashed. Don't you dare talk about Leo like that. He's my boyfriend, the man I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. We're just friends, Ryan. You have no right to interfere in my relationship. That's not fair, Chloe. We've been through everything together. We even slept in the same bed. Chloe froze, disgusted. In her past life, she had brushed this aside. But now, she saw him clearly. Are you serious? That was when we were toddlers. And you're bringing it up now? I'm warning you, stop. Saying things like that to stir up trouble, or our friendship is over. She grabbed her purse and stormed toward the door, her heart pounding. She threw it open and there was Leo standing right outside. Babe, what are you doing here? She asked breathlessly. He blinked. What did you just call me? You're my babe, aren't you? We're going to get married someday, so I might as well start practicing. She slipped her arm through his. This party isn't more important than my boyfriend. Let's go. Leo's face lit up with a smile she had only seen in her past life when he was with Victoria. It hit her so hard her eyes burned with tears. What's wrong? Are you upset I came to get you? He asked, confused. No, she whispered, choking back sobs. I'm just so happy. She threw herself into his arms. Babe, I'm sorry. It must have been so hard being with me. I promise I'll change. Just don't ever leave me, okay? Leo, sensing her strange desperation, gently pulled back. What's going on with you? You seem... I'm fine, she insisted. I just had an epiphany. From now on, I'll always be by your side. Really? I swear. If I break this promise, may lightning strike me. He silenced her with a kiss. Okay, I believe you. Let's go home, Ryan followed, smirking. I'll come with you. Chloe, give me a ride. You don't mind, do you, Leo? Leo's face darkened. Ryan reached for the passenger seat, but Chloe stopped him. If you're coming, sit in the back. The front is for my boyfriend. But you know I get car sick, then call an Uber. Only my boyfriend rides beside me. She pulled Leo into the front seat. The smile returned to his face, while Ryan's expression twisted with anger. On the drive, Ryan tried to make conversation, but Chloe cut him off every time, focusing only on Leo. When they reached the street, she pulled over. You can walk from here. My boyfriend's tired and needs to rest. Ryan slammed the door in fury, but Chloe didn't care. That night, after a shower, she curled into Leo's arms. One touch led to another, and for the first time in years, She felt like she truly had him back. From then on, she drove him to work, picked him up, cooked, shopped, walked hand in hand at the park. She went with him to company parties, smiling warmly as he introduced her to colleagues who all envied him. And when he joined her at her work gatherings, her coworkers told her how lucky she was. Together, they supported each other's careers, shared laughter, and built a life. Whenever Ryan called, her answer was firm. I can't. My boyfriend comes first. No one is more important than him. Life was blissful till Victoria Sterling appeared. One evening, she gave Leo a ride home. Chloe greeted them with a warm smile. Babe, you're home. Miss Sterling, thank you for driving him. Would you like to come in? To her surprise, Victoria accepted. Chloe served tea, fruit, even dinner. She was poised, gracious, confident. She could see that Victoria was impressed. By the end of the evening, Victoria's composure faltered. After she left, Leo wrapped his arms around Chloe. Honey, why are you so perfect? Because you're my husband. Speaking of which, should we get married? Are you serious? Yes. Let's do it. They set a date, registered their marriage, and when the clerk handed them the certificate, Chloe's eyes filled with tears. This time, happiness is finally mine. They celebrated. Walked in the rain with one umbrella, laughed until they dropped it and embraced under the storm. Kissing with all the love they had, not far away. A woman holding an umbrella watched quietly. She smiled softly, then turned and walked away. Time passed. They had a wedding, a home, a child. One afternoon, Chloe stood on the porch, watching Leo play with their little one in the garden. A radiant smile spread across her face. This time, it's my turn to be happy. The plane struck the ground. Fire bloomed like a deadly flower. It had all been her final dream. The end.